Big up! Greetings and welcome back to the Oddiowave Records home studio. I'm DJ Oddio. This is my studio. On today's video, I'm going to show you how I produce and perform and record dub, how I do dubbing for reggae tracks. About 6 months ago, I bought this mixer here. It's a Behringer control surface, and it's a digital audio workstation controller. And the reason why I wanted this, and I really just got like the cheapest one I could find. There's much better ones you could get out there, but for what I needed and what I was trying to do, this is totally sufficient. And what I was after was a more tactile feel, specifically for when I am making dubs. Something where I can, move the faders around, and also the rotary encoders, these pots here that you could turn. It's really helpful when you're making a dub or doing any sort of automation to have the tactile feel of these. And I now use these when I dub. You can assign sends to one of these rotaries, and then when you turn the knob, it turns the send here, up or down, up, down, up, down. Knowing that many people out there don't have a DAW controller or a mixer, and most people work on something like a laptop. I actually, in fact, worked on a laptop for many, many years. I know plenty of professional studios that also work off a laptop. Engineers, producers that work off a laptop. It's totally fine. Having one of these, of course, helps. This is a mouse. It's just a cordless, wireless, Wi-Fi enabled mouse that I use, of course, along with the DAW controller here. For today's video, I'm not going to be using this controller, but rather this mouse, and showing you how to use automation to make a dub track from reggae multi-tracks, reggae stems. I've gotten a few jobs from different producers and artists dubbing their tracks. What they do is they'll send me their multi-tracks, their stems, and I load them into Logic Pro and just go one by one through the tracks using automation and tape delay like this here. This is just the stock Logic tape delay echo effect, and perfect timing for reggae. This 1/8 dotted here is like the quintessential reggae time delay to use. I use it always, always, always. Sometimes I'll add a quarter or a quarter triplet and do that as well. But the 8th dotted is tape head mode set to diffuse. You're going to get a more grainy, more like analog type of sound with it. And you always want to EQ your delay as well. If you set it somewhere, this is even maybe a bit high. If you set it somewhere where what's cutting through is only in the mid-range, it's going to have that feel, that sound that you're after. It's going to sound more like the dubbing effects from people like King Tubby, King Jammy, Mad Professor, Scientist, you name it. Using tape delay is really where it's at. This is #1 recommended type of delay to use. And the stock Logic Pro tape delay is really nice. It actually sounds great. Feedback about 64. Sometimes you could up that a little bit because you're going to be controlling the amount through this send here, actually. So this send #6 is going to be, this is how much or little allows it to come through. The other plugin here is a reverb. This rack mount bright reverb is go-to reverb. I saw in a Dubmaster Khan video, he recommended this one, and I use it all the time, especially on drums. This one sounds great on a rim or a snare. You really get that crack, that reverb that just sends it into outer space. So this is the reverb I'm using here, and I'm using stock plugins intentionally in this video to show how much you can do with just what you get with Logic. There are, of course, plenty of other third-party plugins you could use that are great, and I do use those from time to time. The repeater from Slate is really good, as well as I have the Universal Audio RE201 Space Echo. That's an emulation of the Roland 201 Space Echo. It's great. But again, just to show what you could do with the most basic of plugins that comes stock equipped in Logic Pro, it's very, very capable and can do a lot. So let's get into this here. I'm going to start with the rhythm piano, and solo this out. Bing, bing, right? So that's clean. I actually have no plugins on this whatsoever. It's just the piano that is recorded into this track. The piano on this track was played by my brethren from Shield and Buckler Music, co-producer on this track. This song that we're working with today here is the Lutan Fyah song Oddio, which I co-produced with Shield and Buckler on the Stella Green Farms rhythm. And the Oddio song from Lutan Fyah is a really good song. It's done well. Check it out on YouTube. You could also check out the dub version, which has already been produced and released. And this is a song that's already finished and put out, like I said, but I went back a couple steps to show you how I use automation to make these dubs. And really, a dub song is more performance than production. I've developed a way myself to kind of mold the two together, creating a performance. And right now I'm going to do it using the mouse. I could always go back and make adjustments. If I maybe hit one of the sends too hard and it clips, I could come back in and adjust that. And I'll show you how I do that in just a minute. So what I'll do is go through the first, 8 to 16 bars, showing you how I do it. First, I'll do the tape delay and volume, and then I'll do some reverb effects also in there and show you how I'm able to keep most of my performance, but fine tune it with some production techniques. First thing you do is come up here to this box on the track, this drop down. This is your automation. So read is just gonna, when you move anything like a fader or a send, it's just gonna go where you put it, and that's that. You could go up and down with it, and it doesn't save it actually, it's just reading it. So any movements you do is not actually saving the automation. If you do touch, which is the one I prefer, anytime you move something, it's gonna snap it back to where it was as soon as you let it go. Latch has the opposite effect, so if you move it, it stays where you put it. I like touch because, especially when doing a dub, you want it to delay just off of one sound or one note. And when you're ready for it to stop, you let it go and you want it to go back to where it was, so that, for example, the rhythm piano, it's, playing the bang, 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 and then you echo it, bang, 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 bang. And then when you turn it off and you bring it back, you want it to go bang, bang, and be back where it was. So it's playing that tight rhythm. So you're turning it on and off, and my preferred method is this touch here. So let's put it to touch, start it up. Again, I'm going to be doing this with the mouse, and we'll just see how this works. And you don't have to record. All you do is you play, and any adjustments you do with this is going to write to automation. So you'll see on the screen here how it actually is writing what I'm doing as I'm doing it with the mouse. So I'm holding the volume off now, and it's going, this would be a part in the song where it's not going to have the rhythm. As soon as I let the button go on this mouse, it's going to snap the volume right back. Watch this. Okay, so now you could see here when I cranked up using the mouse, I really hit this a little bit too hard. This one's a bit better here, this minus 2.2. Plus 5.7 is a bit much, and it'll peak if I left it. So I highlight these and I bring them down with the mouse to about that setting again, and I get somewhere I'm happy with. And this is the automation I just wrote of the piano tape delay effect. If I want to see the volume automation, I go up here and switch this to volume, and see this is the automation I did using the mouse up and down on the fader. Again, with a mixer like this or a DAW controller, I could use one hand on the rotary doing the delay and another hand on the volume fader going down, and it's much cleaner. I do less editing after the fact and usually keep the performance as is unless something gets a little bit too hot in clips. And now what you could do too, you could go back here and write more. So this time, again, because I'm using a mouse, I have to do one by one. I can't just do two rotaries at the same time. I'm going to do the automation writing of the reverb, which is also another great plugin send to do in dub, which you hear a lot. So here we go. Let's go round 2. This time sending bus 7, which is the reverb rack mount bright. Let it come back. Remember, this is that space where I left it away. So the other instruments will be going. And here comes the piano again. Okay, so again, you could see some of these that were a little bit hot, and this one I actually think I missed it. I didn't hear it come through, but let's just bring these down for now. Make them a more even volume. This one even I think we could bring up. It's just simple. You just highlight them, drag them, good to go. Moving a little bit closer on this one, you could see this one I pushed it up and back down in between the notes actually, so it didn't even register. It was so quick off and on. And that's actually why I like using the touch, because when you send it up, as soon as you let it go, it snaps back to where it was really quick. And with reggae and this reverb effect especially, you want it to be tight and quick windows. So even though this one missed, I could just move it back over. Slide this one there. I don't want it to stay on, so I'm gonna use my mouse to put that down there. And then this is what it sounds like. Okay, so there you have it. That is how I did the piano. And when I do these, I'll typically start with drums actually, or sometimes piano. And I'll do this for the duration of the track, off and on, and kind of do them one by one. Usually I'll have, if I'm doing the piano like this, maybe I'll have the drums and the bass, maybe even the guitar in there at the same time, and get a feel for the rhythm and the ups and downs and the arrangement, so that I'm doing these effects at, you know, at the chosen time when it's just gonna fit with the song. And now you can see here, if I pull away the automation on the melodica, the trumpet, the horns, the Rhodes, the guitar skank, the drum room, which is just a summing track of all my drums. So there's the automation you could see for each one. And like I showed you on the rhythm piano, you know, some of these are the volume. The pink that you're seeing is one of the sends. And like for the horns here, you know, I just use the delay and the volume. But for the organ, I use the delay, the reverb, and the volume. Just how I did it with the rhythm piano as well. So there you have it. That's a pretty basic, quick, simple tutorial on how you can use a computer mouse to create a dub track. and using automation to save it, you can do each track one by one. Now, of course, if I had a big mixer with rotaries that are controlling each send, like, you know, at least 3 rotaries, maybe even something like this. I've used this before too. This is my Novation launch control. So this here, see how it has 3 rotaries, dials that you could turn, and, you know, faders, and you can assign these buttons to be like solo or mute, which is good oftentimes, you know, if you just want to have like 4 of the tracks going. Now you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks on this. So if I consolidate my tracks and send them down, you know, whittle them down to 8, maybe drums all on one, pianos and guitar bang maybe go together, and then maybe like the trumpet on the song would be one and the melodic another, so on and so forth. Then I would use something like that, and I could do a performance where I'm one take, the whole track all the way through, and you're just recording in real time basically the performance you get, and that's that. And if you want to see a version of that, I actually have on an older video, I dubbed a Rob Simeon song that I produced using that Novation launch control, and you can see kind of the performance and the process in doing that. It's a one take, one shot. This is what you get. You know, you can maybe set some limitations on the parameters so that you don't peak, which I could have done that here too, but it's easier for me to just go back and change it after the fact if I'm using a mouse. All that is to say that if you have a bigger mixer or something like that and you're doing a performance, that's a true dub track. That's a real, you know, authentic dub version where it's all about the performance. And, you know, you could maybe do 5 dubs of the same song and each one comes out different. You have a different song for each one because each performance might be a little bit different. Now, when I typically am doing a dub version for myself or another client, I really want to fine tune it and want it to be precise and, like I said, a split between performance and production. I'm still going through the track in real time and making the performance, but I'm doing each track kind of more one by one rather than all at once, and really feeling the vibe and the groove and just recording in real time. I'm really into creating B-sides for singles. If you have a song, you know, you make a dub of it, you got 2 songs. Boom. Hopefully this video helps. If you, like me, enjoy dub and produce reggae music, then this is one of the most simple ways to create a really good, strong, awesome sounding dub track. And you could do it with a laptop and your mouse. You don't even need one of these. So check out the Oddio track by Lutan Fyah, produced by myself, Oddiowave Records, and Shield and Buckler Music. Big up Shield and Buckler. Big up Lutan Fyah. And if you haven't heard the song already, check out the video. We're almost at 3 million views now. And if you love the Oddio track and you haven't already, check out the dub version. Came out about 4 or 5 months after the single. It was an additional single in support of the original. Once again, give thanks for tuning in and enjoy the dub.
Yeah, this is Lutan Fyah, alongside Stella Green Farm, you know. Yeah. Sometimes me go need Chinese. With a blunt bang bang bang. Can't get enough, you better hand him off. Got some greenhouse sativa, it's fully alkaline. Enough weed. smoke and it get to the med, but I don't mind it. On top of that, it cure many diseases. Come make we take it out, it is a natural medicine. Can't get enough, you better hand me my phone for this boom job.